We've all heard the speeches, the heavy bass, the intense yelling telling you to go dark, push harder, and activate beast mode. The promise is straightforward. If you suffer more than everyone around you, you get the glory. You get the trophy, the legacy, and the hands raised in victory. But listening to a speech in a comfortable room is entirely different from the physical reality. Dragging yourself out of bed at 5 a.m. when it's raining outside and your body is begging for sleep is miserable. The adrenaline you feel from a hype video is an emotional spike. It's a highly unreliable fuel source that inevitably crashes the moment you face real physical friction. The problem to solve is how you keep moving forward when that initial excitement wears off. This chart shows the reality of motivation. You start with a massive spike, followed immediately by a steep drop-off when work gets difficult. To survive that crash, replace emotion with a reliable baseline, a system operating independent of how you feel. We are going to strip away the motivational hype. Instead, we'll map out the true costs and the required mechanics of building a high-performance routine. True competitive advantage does not come from loud declarations. It comes from the relentless, boring execution of unglamorous micro-habits. This matrix lays out the exact trade-offs required for extreme routines, and it starts before you ever take physical action, right here in the first phase, the foundation. The required input is brutal honesty. You have to force a deep, uncomfortable introspection to find an external driver, like providing for your children or ensuring your family's survival. The trade-off is that you have to abandon the desire for immediate social praise. You can no longer work for the applause or the validation of looking good to others. By anchoring your efforts to an external driver, the outcome is a hardened psychological failsafe. When your legs are heavy and your willpower is entirely depleted, that failsafe is the only reliable mechanism to override your instinct to quit. Once that foundation is set, we move to phase 2, the dark work. This is where the operational effort takes place. The input requires structuring your entire day around the inches. It's the repetitive, isolated tasks, the one extra rep, or the extra hours spent studying in absolute silence. You are trading away your short-term leisure. You have to embrace a long period where you will feel completely unacknowledged. But over a timeline of 1 to 10 years, those tiny and visible inputs compound dramatically. Sustaining this requires an intense psychological tolerance for isolation. You have to maintain absolute focus without any immediate reward. People see the highly celebrated gaps in public performance, but those gaps are built entirely in the unseen isolation of the dark work. Finally, we reach the edge of human output, the final phase, the 120% protocol. The input here requires actively overriding your brain's natural stop signals. When your body demands rest, you force continued output. Operating at this capacity introduces severe physiological and mental friction. You are pushing right against the absolute edge of physical failure. The danger here is significant. Demanding 120% drastically increases your risk of systemic burnout, meaning you must have rigid, unyielding recovery protocols just to survive the strain. If you survive this strain, the outcome is that you completely redefine your baseline normal, unlocking capabilities that most people will never access. Tom Brady and Michael Jordan used this specific refusal to accept standard limits as a tool, operating consistently where most people naturally stop. Pushing past hunger and physical pain serves a specific, calculated purpose. It artificially forces your performance floor upward, despite the inherent risks. Looking at these demands, the practical question becomes, who should actually attempt to sustain a routine this extreme? This chart maps your ambition level against the required sacrifice to help you evaluate your current position. If you are entering a do-or-die growth season, like starting a new business, you belong in the top right. This is the dominant zone. Operating here means accepting the severe physical and social tax required for top-tier performance. Conversely, if you lack a clear why or prioritize a balanced lifestyle, you belong in the bottom left, the high-risk burnout zone. You should avoid this routine entirely. Attempting to claim the financial reward while bypassing the dark work creates a direct disconnect between your effort and your expectations, inevitably leading to resentment. The law of output is strict. Input equals output, and you will get exactly the consequences of the daily work you choose. Your immediate next step today is to sit down, define, and explicitly write out your deep, uncomfortable why. Then, tomorrow morning, implement your very first unseen microhabit, and do it without announcing it to anyone. Stop relying on motivation. Make the cold, calculated decision to trade the comfort of today for the dominance of tomorrow.